was changed in the same year. Because in this process, when Turkey moved to the Atlantic camp, a new identity needed to be built for the Turkish youth. As a matter of fact, the rulers of the period said that they would make Turkey a little America. With this new discourse, the Turkish-Russian friendship, which is the legacy of world independence, and Turkey's Asiatic character were covered, a Western character has been attributed to the works of Mustafa Kemal himself. For example, it was stated that he pointed to the West with the aim of raising the country to the level of contemporary civilization. However, in the Education Congress held in 1921 during the War of Independence, Mustafa Kemal explained the national education program with the following words. When I talk about a national education program, I understand a culture completely away from all the influences that can come from the East and the West. As can be seen, Mustafa Kemal points independence from the first day. After the Second World War and in the 50s, opening up the West and liberalization in the political and economic field became the main purpose. This purpose had important reflections on the education system. In 1949, the Fulbright Agreement was signed with the USA. Accordingly, United States Education Commission in Turkey was established. The commission has 4 Turkish and 4 American members, and the head of the commission was American. With the activities of this commission, Islamism, Ottomanism, and Westernism were brought together both in social life and in education system. In a sense, it was the beginning of the period of uncertainty and contradiction. The search for national identity before Kemal's revolution has returned. Besides, an ideological struggle against the USSR began. In the history books of Kemal's period, there was detailed information about Russian history, and Turkish-Russian friendship was emphasized. This positive view was removed from the textbooks, and harsh criticism against the Russians began to take place. This attitude continued until the end of the 90s. There are 2 situations that deeply affect the Turkish education system and historiographia in 90s. The first one of these is the agreement between Turkey and Broadband in the field of education. Within the framework of agreement, National Education Development Project was put into effect. A new department was established within the Ministry of National Education in 1992 for strategic planning. 2/3 of advisors of this department were American. Also, head of the advisory commission was American. Besides, another American person served as the independent senior advisor to the Minister of Education. The influence of the USA in Turkish education system has moved to an uncontrollable dimension. Another important situation is the start of Turkey's full harmonization process with the European Union. Its main impact was seen in the 2000s, but transformation at the institutional level began in the 90s. As of the 2000s, the Turkish nation has been directed to the goal of being European. The highlights of the recommendation of the Council of Europe on History Teaching in 2001 are as follows. Glorifying the European dimension in history teaching and curriculum, and strengthening European consciousness. Not to use history teaching to spread ideological and nationalist views. No ultra-nationalist interpretation of the past. With this recommendation, the rejection of official history, alternative history, confronting history, the right not to claim history, multi-identity, multiculturalism, European consciousness, global citizenship are imposed, and the Turkish nation is trying to be de-identified. Since 2004, European Union projects and funding programs have been at the center of Turkish education system. a more significant position than textbooks in education policies, including in the field of history. Since 2005, there has been a great change not only in the practice but also in the philosophy of education. A constructivist approach has been adopted. Constructivism is based on pragmatist philosophy and postmodern principles. It claims that if each individual constructs knowledge according to their own interests, needs, and background knowledge. Since each individual creates their own knowledge, opposing views can be accepted as correct at the same time. Therefore, it is not possible to target common historical awareness, common culture, and national belonging in history lessons designed according to this approach. With the changes in both Turkey's internal dynamics and international balances, the FETÖ terrorist organization attempted a coup supported by the USA in 2016. After this turning point, sensitivity increased in education on national days, the War of Independence, the criticism of the Western system, the struggle for independence, and national unity and solidarity. The prevention of the coup attempt was defined as the Second War of Independence, and Turkey turned its face to Eurasia. If we evaluate the circumstances in terms of historiography and education system, it is understood that the struggle against imperialism continues within the Turkish education system, and mutual moves continue to be made. Today in Turkey, globalization policies and Westernism are still mainstream approach in textbooks and curricula. The myth of the uninterrupted progress of Europe and Eurocentrism constitutes the dominant view of history in school books. Moreover, private schools with high academic success aim to raise global citizens, and European Union projects are an obstacle to the development of national consciousness in public schools. In both types of schools, digital tools and educational applications carry globalization policies to Turkey. Sectarian schools and courses could not be completely eliminated. In spite of these facts, independence, national unity and solidarity, national self-confidence draw attention both at the level of discourse and action. Protocols on education are signed with the Turkic states. Russian and Chinese preparatory classes are launched in some types of high schools. In vocational education, Belt and Road Initiative is shown as a target for both production and employment. Within the framework of this development, it can be asserted that Turkey is in a process of great transformation. In terms of education, it is possible to say that Turkey is on the verge of radical changes, and it is time to choose a side. As a completion, we are face to face with an understanding that defines the source of the problem in the world as nationalism that excludes globalization. This perspective describes the main division in the world as the division between those who see themselves as a part of global society and those who do not see themselves as global citizens. Education is seen as a touchstone in the fight against nationalism that strengthens globalization. For this reason, the concept of citizenship is at the center of both imperialism and the struggle against imperialism. Therefore, it is significant whether the sense of belonging is to the nation or to the global centers. In this respect, history teaching is not about telling the past, but building the future. The greatest need of Turkey in terms of history teaching is that the development in Eurasia, the events and approaches that reveal them are included in the curriculum and textbooks. It is compulsory for Turkey to renounce the globalization approach. Turkishness, which is the building block of Turkey's national identity, can only be realized cooperation. Educational materials should be produced as an alternative to Western-based digital education tools. National and Eurasian-based educational software and hardware should be produced. An alternative to social media and video services, where history is rewritten, should be created. Co-productions that will serve the struggle against cultural imperialism should be implemented. For this, the history education is in priority. The hope of humanity is developing, uniting, rising Eurasia. Thank you for your patience.
У меня такой вопрос. Общеизвестно, что в настоящее время в Турции отрицается факт геноцида армян 1915 года. Но есть историки Турции, особенно в Европе, которые не только не отрицают, но у них есть соответствующие исследования по поводу геноцида армян, айсоров и греков. Как освещается эта проблема в турецких учебниках? И по этому поводу ваше личное мнение как историк. Спасибо.
There are too many scientific books and research about that, I know, and explains it's not a genocide. And you know, in European, that it cannot be taught as a genocide. So I can say that. You know, the court card in European, a Turkish politician said that it's not a genocide in the Europe, and there was a court, and it's decision that yes, you are right.